Hi there. It's August 13th and time for Proverbs 13. Okay, we're deep into the Proverbs now, right? Halfway through Solomon's copies. Let's begin. A wise son hears his father's instruction, but a scoffer does not listen to rebuke. We've all known kids like that, or had kids like that, right? 2, from the fruit of his mouth a man eats what is good, but the desire of the treacherous is for violence. Right. The things you say, okay? From the things you say is what will happen to you, right? A man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth, and as a note here, if he uses his tongue to God's glory and the profit of his neighbor, God shall bless him, right? But the soul of the trespasser shall suffer violence. There you go. Whoever guards his mouth preserves his life. He who opens wide his lips comes to ruin. Right. Keep your mouth shut most of the time. It's best to just keep your mouth closed, right? For the soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. Right? Lazy, not lazy. 5. The righteous ones are yellows today, right? The righteous hates falsehood, but the wicked bring shame and disgrace. Stench. The righteous hates falsehood, but the wicked brings shame and disgrace. It says slander over here. Slander and shame. A righteous man hateth lying words. Right? Or falsehood. Righteousness guards him whose way is blameless, but sin overthrows the wicked. 7's a good one. One pretends to be rich, yet has nothing. Another pretends to be poor, yet has great wealth. Okay? Neither one is good, okay? You pretend to be rich, yet have nothing, and there's lots of people out there to do it today, living a facade, it's called, right? They drive big cars, and fancy hairdos, and wear expensive clothes, and have great big cell phones, but they're actually broke, okay? They can't even feed themselves most of the time. And there's those who pretend to be poor, yet they are very wealthy, okay? And I've known some of these people. They drive old cars, they wear old clothes, and you'd never know they had millions of dollars in the bank. Why is that not a good thing? They're stingy, okay? God says give to the poor and he will reward you, okay? If you're stingy and hoarding it, keep it for yourself, and going so far as to hide it, that's not a good thing either. I'll find out at the end of their life that they did it all for nothing, right? 8, the ransom of a man's life is his wealth, but a poor man hears no threat, right? There's a good note over here for that. For his poverty, he is not able to escape the threatenings which the cruel oppressors use against him. That's kind of not what it says. It says here's no threat. Right? If you're rich and they know you're rich, they're going to be after you, right? The poor man here, so probably why this guy up here pretends to be poor, right? 10. Or, no, 9. We're on 9. The light of the righteous rejoices, but the lamp of the wicked will be put out. Think about that one. The light of the righteous rejoices. It says candle over here. 10. By insolence comes nothing but strife, but with those who take advice is wisdom. Only pride doth make contention. Insolence, pride. You can't tell me what to do, right? Nothing but trouble. 11. Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. Right? Now, this is a very true statement. Okay? Or or by fraud. Right? If you look up, I don't know, you can usually find stories, but almost everybody who's ever won the lottery, right? They go out and buy big houses and big cars and lots of expensive clothes, and 98% of them probably, I'm guessing at that number, within a year are broke. And now they're deep in debt and owe more money than they can ever repay and are forced into bankruptcy. Okay? Wealth gained hastily will dwindle. Okay? I saw my own, people, close friends, family, get very large inheritances, and within a year they were broke. You get money all of a sudden. Okay? Gather little by little and you'll increase it. Okay? And we all say, that wouldn't happen to me. Well, happens to almost everybody who gets money suddenly. Okay? 12, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. Yeah. Lots of hope being deferred now, right? Waiting for all these things to happen, right? That haven't happened yet. "13, whoever despises the word brings destruction on himself." That's the word of God, right? The Bible. Whoever despises the Bible brings destruction on himself. But he who reveres the commandment of the Bible will be rewarded, right? Right? Word. There's the word over here. It'll say that. Meaning the word of God whereby he is admonished of his duty. Right, the word of God. 14, the teaching of the wise is a fountain of life, that one may turn away from the snares of death. Right? Fountain of life. 15, good sense wins favor, but the way of the treacherous is their ruin. Rugged. Good sense wins favor. The way of the treacherous is their ruin. Right? You have good sense. That's good understanding over here. 16, every prudent man acts with knowledge, but a fool flaunts his folly. Or, what is folly? That's foolishness. Okay? A fool. Every prudent man acts with knowledge, right? But a fool flaunts his folly, and that's true. Out there showing off everything they don't know, right? 17, a wicked messenger falls into trouble, but a faithful envoy brings healing. Right? We don't have messengers now, we have the internet, right? And you say, wicked messenger? People putting stupid stuff on the internet fall into trouble, right? But a faithful envoy brings healing. You could find uplifting words on the internet if you look. 18, poverty and disgrace come to him who ignores instruction, but whoever heeds reproof is honored. Right? You heed reproof, right? Somebody tries to correct you, a wise person. 19, a desire fulfilled is sweet to the soul, but to turn away from evil is an abomination to fools, right? They love evil. They love following evil people. They're not going to turn away. They can't imagine turning away. Right? A desire fulfilled is sweet to the soul. Okay, 20. This one's highlighted. Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, right? But the companion of fools will suffer harm. You're going to be wise. Hang around wise people. Okay? They will always be glad to teach you. 21, disaster pursues sinners, but the righteous are rewarded with good. The righteous are rewarded with good. Okay, and this is a very famous verse. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the sinner's wealth is laid up for the righteous. Okay? I'm surprised there's no note on this one. It says Job, right? A lot of people and a lot of pastors and teachers think this is money, right? You're not a good man unless you leave money to your grandchildren, okay? That's not what they mean by inheritance here, okay? Teaching your grandchildren about Jesus, about God, how to read the Bible, right? How to pray, right? What to do in times of trouble, go to God. That's the inheritance you want to leave your grandchildren, okay? Money won't last. Money will go away very quick, right? What's it say up there? One who gets money hastily dwindles fast. Okay? Just because you spent all your life saving it doesn't mean they're going to save it all their life. They're going to waste it. Okay? The inheritance you leave your grandchildren is knowledge, wisdom. Okay? Remember that. 23, the fallow ground of the poor would yield much food, but it is swept away through injustice. Right. That's true. 24, whoever spares the rod hates his son. Right? Spare the rod, spoil the child. But he who loves him is diligent to discipline him. Right. Or loves him, disciplines him early. Early, that's important. You have to discipline your kids early. They should know everything about discipline by the time they're 8 years old, because once they reach teens, they will not listen to you. Okay? And that does involve spanking, okay? They must fear evil and learn to fear God. 25, the righteous has enough to satisfy his appetite, but the belly of the wicked suffers want. Right? Righteous has enough to satisfy. God will always take care of you, right? Always. Okay, let's put all the righteous ones together. The righteous hates falsehood, right? But the wicked brings shame and disgrace. Righteousness guards him whose way is blameless. Okay? The light of the righteous rejoices. The righteous are rewarded with good. Okay? The righteous has enough to satisfy his appetite. Always enough, right? There's the righteous ones. Like I said, after this 24th time through, I'm going to put all these righteous ones together in one video, right? Okay, what else is highlighted in here? 2 is highlighted. From the fruit of his mouth a man eats what is good, but the desire of the treacherous is for violence. Okay? Say only kind things, uplifting, edifying things. Okay? You should not say something evil to somebody else. Okay? That's treacherous. That's violence. Okay? You say only kind things, you will eat what is good. Okay? 3, whoever guards his mouth preserves his life, and he who opens wide his lips comes to ruin. Right? 99% of the time, the best thing to do is just to keep your mouth shut. Okay? 7 is highlighted. One pretends to be rich, yet has nothing. One pretends to be poor, yet has great wealth. Okay? And we went over that. Okay? 8, the ransom of a man's life is his wealth. But a poor man hears no threat. Okay? If you got money and people know you got money, they're always going to be after you. Okay? Always. 11 is highlighted. Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. Okay? It kind of ties in with this. Good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. Right? Wealth gained hastily will dwindle. That's not the inheritance you want to leave your grandchildren. You want to leave them with knowledge and wisdom. Right? You want to leave them with God. Okay. 12, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. All right. Lots of hope deferred, waiting and waiting, huh? 13 is highlighted. Whoever despises the Bible, the Word of God, brings destruction on himself. But he who reveres the commandment, the Word of God, the Bible, will be rewarded. Right? Every prudent man acts with knowledge, but a fool flaunts his folly. Right? Lots of fools flaunting their foolishness. Right? Usually on the internet, and they make it on the news, and doing stupid things, right? People dressing weird at big box stores, right? Just flaunting their foolishness. 17, a wicked messenger falls into trouble, but a faithful envoy brings healing, right? Think of the internet conversations when you see this. Wicked messenger falls into trouble. Faithful envoy, one who says good things and tells the truth, right? 20, whoever walks with the wise becomes wise. Just that simple, right? But the companion of fools will suffer harm, right? And we went over this. Good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the sinner's wealth is laid up for the righteous. Let's just say, it refers you to Job on that one. And we know what happened to Job, right? 24. Whoever spares the rod hates his son. If you don't spank your children, you hate them. Right? It says in other parts, you're killing them if you don't. Discipline your children. He who loves them is diligent to discipline him early. That's added early on there, right? Be time. And 25, we did that's a righteous one, right? Belly of the wicked suffers want. And it does. So there you go. That is Proverbs 13. Good stuff in there. Stay tuned later today. We're in the book of Romans still. And I think we're on chapter 13, actually. So, and Paul's telling us lots of good stuff, lots of good information that we as Gentiles need to know, right? So stay tuned for that. Give us a like if you think about it, and we'll continue this tomorrow. See you next time.